The Cleveland Browns are spiraling again, and this time it's not just about one bad game or one struggling quarterback. What's happening in Cleveland feels deeper, uglier, and far more systemic than anything fans have seen in years. The narrative has always been the same. Find the right quarterback, and everything else will fall into place. But after this latest storm of criticism, fueled by none other than Cam Newton, it's becoming painfully clear that the Browns' problems run far beyond whoever lines up under center. Cam Newton didn't mince words when he took aim at how the Browns are handling Shedeur Sanders. The former NFL MVP, known for his blunt honesty, looked at the situation and called it for what it was: sabotage. Not of intention, but of design. According to Newton, Shedeur isn't failing. The organization around him is. From coaching decisions to offensive philosophy, from play calling to personnel choices, Newton suggested that the Browns have built an offense that sets its own quarterback up to struggle, and that's the question echoing throughout Cleveland right now. Can Kevin Stefanski and new offensive coordinator Tommy Rees actually craft an environment where Shedeur can thrive? Or are they repeating the same old patterns that have haunted this franchise for decades, promising talent, crushed by dysfunction? To understand Newton's frustration, you have to look at how this Browns offense operates. Stefanski's system, once praised for its balance and discipline, now looks lifeless and predictable. The run game has lost its rhythm. The passing attack feels suffocated, confined to safe horizontal throws. There's no spark, no unpredictability, no creativity. When a team plays not to lose, it rarely wins, and that's exactly how Cleveland has been playing. Tommy Rees, brought in to inject new ideas, has instead been blamed for overcomplicating things. His schemes rely on precision timing and pre-snap motion that demand near-perfect execution. But with a young quarterback learning on the fly, that complexity often backfires. Too many drives stall before they start. Too many plays rely on talent that simply isn't being maximized. The offensive line, once considered one of the team's strengths, has been inconsistent at best. Missed assignments and blown protections have become the norm. And when your quarterback is constantly running for his life, no playbook in the world can mask the chaos. This is where Cam Newton's insight hits hardest. He's been there before, a young, dynamic quarterback with immense potential, placed in a system that didn't fully understand how to use him. Newton's warning wasn't just about Sanders. It was about the trap that Cleveland has fallen into time and time again. You can't draft a Ferrari, Newton implied, and then tell it to drive like a dump truck. Shedeur Sanders isn't the problem. The problem is what surrounds him. The Browns' offense in its current state doesn't empower quarterbacks, it drains them. It limits their instincts, shackles their creativity, and forces them to conform to a rigid system that no longer works in today's NFL. That's why Newton's comments struck such a nerve. He wasn't taking a cheap shot at Stefanski or Rees. He was demanding accountability. He was saying what fans and analysts have been whispering all season long. The Browns are too predictable, too conservative, too afraid to take risks. When you watch the film, the issues leap off the screen. The receivers rarely separate. The routes are shallow, often ending short of the sticks. The offensive line collapses under pressure, forcing Shedeur to make split-second decisions with defenders in his face. And yet the coaching staff seems unwilling to adjust. It's the same calls, the same mistakes, week after week. In many ways, Newton's critique mirrors the frustration of the fan base. Every year, Cleveland invests in talent, preaches patience, and promises progress. But every year, the same thing happens. The offense sputters, the defense burns out, and the fans are left wondering if the franchise will ever learn. And yet, Shedeur Sanders has shown flashes, moments where his arm talent, composure, and instincts shine through the dysfunction. His timing on deep throws, his ability to read defenses, his poise under pressure, all the traits that made him a star at Colorado are still there. The question is, can this coaching staff let him be who he is? Can they build around his strengths instead of forcing him into a system that doesn't fit? Because what Cam Newton was really warning about wasn't just this season, it was Shedeur's future. Too many young quarterbacks have been thrown into bad systems and never recovered. Confidence gets shattered. Habits get broken. Careers fade before they ever peak. Newton knows that pain firsthand, and he's trying to make sure Shedeur doesn't follow that same path. Kevin Stefanski, for his part, insists that the offense is close and that the timing will come, that the execution will improve, that patience will pay off. But after years of hearing the same lines, fans are losing faith. They don't want close, they want results. They want energy. They want to see their quarterback unleashed, not restrained, and Tommy Rees, the supposed quarterback whisperer, is under increasing scrutiny. His offensive philosophy, rooted in discipline and structure, might work with veteran quarterbacks who've mastered the nuances of NFL defenses. But with a young talent like Sanders, that same rigidity becomes a cage. What the Browns need now is flexibility, an offense that evolves with its quarterback, not one that forces him to adapt to its limits. It's a painful irony. The Browns may finally have found a potential franchise quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, yet they seem to be building a system that could break him before he reaches his prime. And that's exactly what Newton was calling out. Not because he doubts Sanders, but because he's seen how easily great talent can be wasted when leadership refuses to evolve. The Cleveland Browns are at a crossroads. They can either double down on the status quo, hoping that experience will magically fix the dysfunction, or they can confront the uncomfortable truth that this offense, as currently constructed, is broken. The question now is whether Stefanski and Rees have the humility to admit it and the courage to change it. Cam Newton's words weren't meant to tear the team down. They were meant to wake it up. To remind the organization that greatness requires adaptation, that talent alone isn't enough. The NFL is ruthless. It rewards creativity and punishes complacency. And right now, Cleveland looks dangerously complacent. Maybe Shedeur Sanders can be the spark that forces change. Maybe his leadership, his drive, his unshakable confidence will push this franchise to evolve. But if the Browns keep expecting miracles from a man trapped in a malfunctioning system, they'll end up wasting another generational talent, and Cam Newton will be proven right once again. So, the question lingers. Is the problem Shedeur Sanders, or is it everything around him? Can Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees reinvent this offense before it crushes another quarterback's career? Or will Cleveland's curse continue, not because of bad luck, but because of bad leadership?